Hello there, greetings, welcome back to Infinite Throwbacks. This is the Infinity Show, basically. And, yeah, it's kind of a tribute to the game, Disney Infinity, kind of, because I love this. This might be my favorite game of all time. It might be. But here we have Jack Skellington, and this is episode 9. And here he is. Sorry, okay, I'm gonna apologize. He's not standing up like this because he's been kind of crammed in a box for a long time. Sorry about that, but anyway, he's normally supposed to be very tall, like standing up, whatever. Anyway, here's Jack Skellington. Unfortunately, the only Nightmare Before Christmas figure for Infinity, sadly. I would have loved to see an Oogie Boogie, oh my word, that would have been so fun! Or Sally, or the mayor, or literally anyone. But, oh well. I believe I did do some research, and the reason why the Infinity team picked Jack is because the anniversary of Nightmare Before Christmas was around. So I think 2012, 2013, when Disney Infinity first started. He is a 1.0 figure, so he's kind of basic. He's a little basic, but I think the design of him makes up for that, like the figure itself. Unfortunately, Jack is one of the hardest Infinities to find because he is one of the rare characters because of his popularity. Um, but yeah, I wanted to start with a little 360 of him. You can see he looks pretty much exactly like he did in the movie, which is cool. Not much creative liberty was taken with him. I did want to look at his base. This is, I believe, somewhere in Halloween Town. This is like some kind of flooring. I don't know exactly where this is supposed to be, but you do see the design of the Spiral Hill, the famous, one of the many famous stuff in the film, which is cool. Jack is amazing. Let's see. He's not perfect though. I feel like they could have done. Actually, they were going to do a big figure of Jack, like a premium figure that would have been like $45. It would have been huge, like it would light up, and it was depicting the scene in Christmas Town where he's discovering Christmas for the first time. They would actually change his moves to give him much more of a updated move set. Unfortunately, Disney Infinity got canceled before they could do that, so that's kind of sad. At least we have Jack here. The coolest thing I think, in my opinion, of this figure, or I guess the character in Infinity, is the fact that he's voiced by the original actor who did the voice in the film. So Chris Sarandon, he's like a big Broadway actor, and he did the voice for Jack Skellington in the movie. Well, Danny Elfman, of course, did the songs, he did the music, and he sung for Jack. So Elfman doesn't show up in Infinity, but Chris Sarandon does. Who he still does the voice, which is awesome. It's really cool. I love that part of it. That's my favorite part. Um, Here he is. You can see his design is almost exactly like the movie, except his coattails are not as... There's not as much lines in between the coattail, or like just the coat in general. It's a little bit... Like you can see the lines here aren't as close together as they were in the movie. Which is fine. He looks really great. He has this snickering smile on his face. He's got those, cutout eyes, holes. You can see his coat is kind of flapping in the wind. You can see he looks a little thicker than he did in the movie because obviously he's very thin. If you remember, obviously Infinity's figures are they're meant to be more durable. So I can see why they went with the slightly thicker design with his hands and his body. I guess they didn't want him to break because if he was styled like in the movie, like if he was super thin, there would be a huge risk of him breaking, like snapping. So I can see why they made him a little bit fatter in that regard. This figure is pre-owned, so that's why there's this red mark here. it's not that big of a deal. I don't really care. Maybe I can get that off somehow, but yeah, in terms of the game, there's not much to talk about with Jack. Like, he's very basic, like a very simple fighter. Like, he's not really that complex. Like, a lot of the earlier figures, like Jack Sparrow, Mr. Incredible, Lightning McQueen. Let's see. There's a lot. They're all like a lot of the early figures, like Mickey and um, a lot of those early figures, like Sully as well. They're all they kind of play the same. Because Infinity One, it was very basic. Like it was just kind of finding its footing, and then 2.0 improved with that, and then 3.0 is the best version by far. But Jack is 1.0, so he's boring. He's not really what you'd expect. Like he can throw pumpkin bombs, he can kind of attack, but he's not. He doesn't have a special move. He doesn't have a regeneration. He doesn't have a. Let's see. He doesn't have a super jump. He doesn't really have any distinguishable things other than his voice. I guess some of his mannerisms and the pumpkin bombs. He doesn't really do that much, which normally would be a problem. But since a lot of the characters, a lot of the early figures have the same issue, it's kind of excusable since it's Disney Infinity 1, so it's not going to be super complex, um, which is fine. I respect them for trying to make him different. He's different enough, I guess. You know who Jack is. You know him, but he's not going to be super, complex or he's just Jack. There's not really that much to talk about with his gameplay. That being said, I will still show you the gameplay soon, just so you can see what I'm talking about. Like compared to Black Panther, who we did the last episode, he is ridiculously complex. Like he's got so much moves, a special move. He's just got more to him because he's a 3.0 figure. So he has the most benefits of a character and a figure. So yeah, that's why Jack is kind of stuck at being basic, but hey, I'm glad we got him. I would really appreciate if they made a Oogie Boogie. That would have been really awesome. Or Sal. I don't know how Sally would have played. I don't think she's really combat based, so maybe she wouldn't really work. But Oogie Boogie definitely would have worked because he's a villain and he's very evil, and he could have worked. But well, whatever. I'm still glad that we got this figure. Unfortunately, he is one of the rarer ones. So if you want to get Jack, you're gonna have to be a little bit lucky, or just already own him, or just get him pre-owned. He's one of the 1.0s, so he's kind of hard to get. But I think he's worth it. I think more the design of the figure makes up for the lack of gameplay moves. He's still fun to use. Like he's still got enough good moves to distinguish him. But if you want a super like detailed character and moves and animations and stuff, it's not Jack is not the one for you. Um, but still, he's great. Yeah, I'd say his greatest weaknesses are he just doesn't have a lot to offer. Like in terms of gameplay, like you're not gonna find a lot of different things. So, eh, oh well. I mean, I guess Jack is a basic character, so it kind of works. Um, it would have been really cool to get Oogie Boogie as another figure and then get a playset for Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't know why they didn't do that. Like that would have been no brainer. Put Jack in, put Oogie Boogie in, put the playset in, and put the music and stuff in. Make a story. It could be kind of a sequel to the movie, kind of. Like I don't know why they didn't do that. It's just kind of dumb. Like, it's just kind of baffling. But hey, at least they included him. I'm glad at least he's in the game. So yeah, that's nice. At least. Um, so yeah, I do enjoy having Jack. He is one of my favorite figures of Infinity, despite the fact that he doesn't have a lot to do in terms of gameplay. But I'm a big fan of the movie he's based on. So that's why I'm a fan of him as much as I am. Yeah, The Nightmare Before Christmas is definitely one of my favorite movies, like in general, just for its design, the music, everything, pretty much. Um, because I'm a big Tim Burton fan as well, so that kind of helps. Um, but yeah, really great figure. He's a legacy character. He's like one of the more iconic Infinity figures. So glad to see he made it in the game for sure. Um, yeah, I told you all my complaints. Um, if you're a fan of the movie and Disney Infinity, I'd recommend him. Um, he doesn't have a whole lot to do, but he's fun enough. So, yeah, still really good. A lot of the 1.0 figures, like also the Lone Ranger as well, they're all basic, but 2.0 definitely makes it updates everything, makes it better. And I think if you're gonna go for any Infinity version, go for 3.0. It's the best version, and you can play all the characters in there, so it's nice. That's it for this episode, though. Hope you liked it. It was fun. Hope I talked about everything and showed you everything. And yeah, the next episode will be soon. And I'll see you then. Take care. And don't go stealing anyone's holidays now.